Greetings everyone, BJ Waller here with you for another episode of a Stronghold Kingdoms Island Warfare. We are here in day 19. We've actually got a lot to catch up on. So I think at the end of our last video for Island Warfare, we had just moved in here to Lapu-Lapu from way up north, way down south, so we can be with a couple of friends from USA 3, King MacArthur and Inigo Montoya, while we're here at the map. Obviously, House 17 in firm control of the Philippines. House 9, from the looks of it, to be the next largest holder of territory here. And House 10 and House 11 holding their own right now. Of course, as we zoom in a bit more, we get a bit more color. So we still have quite a few houses here making a name for himself. House 13 still got a bit of control up in the northern reaches. Fortunately, of course, down here, where Inigo and King are members of House 3, don't have control of anything larger than parishes. In the Davao Oriental Peninsula. As you can see, I've got some color now in Lapu-Lapu. That's because we have taken over Lapu-Lapu. The previous steward here, Irma K88, seemed to be inactive, has not responded to mail I sent out. So we needed to get Lapu-Lapu built up and protected from several attacks. Of course, being a neutral parish, you are subject to flag and gold rating. So one of the first keys was to take over Lapu-Lapu and get into a faction at House. Now, my original faction here, as we'll see as I review the reports, the original faction I was able to get into was actually in House 3. And much to my surprise, we are now in House, I believe this is House 5. There's several blue-colored houses, so yes, House 5. But regardless, right now, being in a house is what we need to be in to be able to build up this parish a bit. And, maintain our gold and flag reserves here. Obviously, myself, Inigo, and King, as well as Bolts Griffin, who actually has moved here. He's a little bit more north than us. As I said, I got pretty lucky to be able to pop into the parish next to Inigo and King. Where is he at? You know what? Let's do this, because this will make life much easier. Bolt Griffin, he is there. He is. Botany Bay? No, it's Benet. So there's our other ally Bolts. We'll be forming a faction and an alliance together as soon as one of us hits the required rank, I believe, of rank 14, which I believe is Page, yes. So the first one to hit Page. I got a long ways to go. Of course, as I've mentioned previously, throughout our Stronghold Kingdoms episodes, I do take my time. And of course, as I mentioned last episode, is a bit of a tip and a trick. You don't want to over-level yourself, so to speak, too quickly. So, undoubtedly, either Inigo or King or Bolts will be one of the first ones to hit Page and be able to create the faction. Now, of course, if any of my viewing fans out there who are here on Island Warfare and would like to join our alliance and join our faction, email me. Right there, you can send me a mail. Send a mail to BJ Waller and just let me know that you want to join up with us, and we will include you in our faction alliance thread here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Yes, faction alliance thread. So we will include you in our faction alliance thread. In the meantime, here's my proclamation for Lapu-Lapu. As soon as I took over, sent out a proclamation to everybody playing, just to give a little background on my history with the game, and of course why I took over the parish etc., etc. And of course, asking everyone to donate goods to be able to actually, help us grow here. So one of the things, let's see what we got here. I believe I voted earlier. Oh, I can vote again. Good. So we can maintain our control of the parish. Information here, see what everybody's been going on. So we've got a commoner, very good. Zako. Looks like he's Polish from House 10. Joined the parish. He moved into the parish right before I took over. So thank you, Ozco79, for actually making donations to be able to help build us up, and of course to everybody else for taking out the negative popularity modifiers here. So of course there ain't much we can do right now with the parish, having only unlocked wooden structures. So I'm not really going to be doing too much building here now. Of course, I don't have to worry too much about attacks on the parish at this point, unless we have an identifiable enemy. I don't see any swords in our area, so we might be alright for now. So unless, of course, our faction, our house is at current war with somebody, we don't really have to worry about attacks. So that'll give us time to actually make some donations and build up, of course, the architect building here, the most important, in order to unlock what we need. So we've got 8 levels we've got to unlock in order to get the full defensive structures, and of course this will upgrade the keep, but really the most important one is here right now. So what do we got in the way of gold? So good, we're beefing up on gold. And of course, modifiers to help our villages here. So, see, now that we do have a flag. See, the thing is here, again, like on USA 3, I've got to watch what I place down so we don't spread being able to donate our resources too thin. Right now, this is the only honor goods building, so this is the only one we'll have that will require honor goods in the near future, so that's not bad. So we can, as we get honor goods, we can focus them just on this one building. Let me do this, just to keep things simple for now. And of course, so now these buildings don't require upgrade. This requires the resources, wood, stone, iron, and eventually pitch. This requires food, this requires food, and this requires wood, iron, eventually pitch. So these two are the only ones that require resources. These two are the only ones that require food. So again, we're not spreading ourselves out too thin. We're in pretty good shape here, up to 40% with our archers. What we do eventually need, though, pikemen. Peasants are okay, but fairly weak in terms of attack and defense. The only reason why we would have this, keep it to upgrade it, would be for a tunneler's guild at this point, which we're probably going to wait on placing for a while. So nothing that we have down requires weaponry yet, but we will be placing this. This is probably going to be the next one I place. So we can start upgrading the defenses of the parish. See, I don't know whether I want to wait till we get 3 flags. So we really don't have the army right now to be able to flag raid at this point. Even if we had a neutral parish, we could flag raid nearby. So we've got some up here. As you can see, any attempt to flag raid them, unless we get really lucky, it would pretty much be futile. They're just too far away, so we're just going to have to take it slow. Let things build up naturally. So what I'm really debating now is whether to throw down wood, which of course will require food, and of course food is a little bit easier because less packets are required. So we get a higher packet count with using food. And food's a little bit easier to donate because basically all you need food for, aside from donations, is to feed your peasants. So as long as you've got food production that is in excess of food consumption, that's really the only thing you use food for. Unfortunately, wood, stone, and iron, and of course pitch, you use for defenses and building up your military. So it's a little bit harder to make donations, which of course all the foodstuffs require, through wood, stone, and iron. So I was debating whether to throw down wood or perhaps one of the food buildings. But since we already have our peasants and our castellan's house that require resources, I think if anything I'm probably going to throw down let's get to the right one, the Woodcutters Guild. That way we can use these to build up our production values in the villages and enable us to easier donate these resources to the necessary buildings, in addition to, of course, using the supplies to build up our own castles. So I'm going to do that right now. Somehow what I'm going to end up doing is just moving. Let me move this guy here. So we sort of want to set up how we have the parish in USA 2, guild building wise, just to keep things neat and organized. Yes, I want to go back in here. I want to throw down the Woodcutters Guild, so we will do that. So we've got that building. 18 hours she'll be done, ready for donations. So in the meantime, let me put a little note here for everybody, because I should be able to make a proclamation in 4 more days, so we'll do that. In the meantime, I can use this to communicate. We'll be saving flags for, what is it? Control C. The Sergeant at Arms office. There we go. So just to keep all our parish members informed, so good. So this will help us. So you donated a little bit there, so you just don't have enough production in Baylosar yet. So I got 4 peasants. 4 peasants. 4 peasants. So how are we doing here? So good, we got Breaking the Cloud, slight popularity thing there. Of course, don't have enough ale production yet. Food production's really beefed that up. So ale made per day, ale drank per day, so if I throw down another brewery, that will actually take care of that little issue. Of course, we need to make sure our defenses are tight here. I thought I repaired it. Not. There we go. So at least the siege camp is gone. So the siege camp has launched its final attack. It is vanquished. So thank goodness for that. We can actually rank up, which we will be doing shortly too. And getting some more research points, which I think I mentioned. There's going to be fletching. And then, what else was it? Fletching? Oh yes, and then farming for wheat production. And then, after that, I am most likely going to have to do banqueting. start researching banqueting so I can actually start my honor good production in order to upgrade the Architects Guild. So hopefully we've got some other people in the parish who can make those donations to help out, but that is definitely got to be a priority. And of course we will eventually be doing more military scouting as well. Meantime, is there anything worth scouting? Whatever that little... Oh, you know what? That's definitely worth scouting to start building up now, most certainly. Be able to make those donations. So let's review some reports here. The card expired, using some cards to help beef up some production here at least. Excellent. So here's our change. We are in the army of Melkor 2. So we went from House 3 to House 5. Faction relationship change is a friend army of Melkor 3. So in fact, let's take a look at that here. So of course House 17 obviously in full control of the world. Let's go here. So we are in House 5 now. Army of Melkor 2 and 3. So it looks like... So there is another army of Melkor here. So it looks like House 3 and House 5 may be allies. Excellent. So who do we have with us here? We are Army of Melkor 2. That's us. So here's all my fellow current faction mates until, of course, we get our own faction going here. So thank you, Army of Melkor 2, by the way, for taking me in at this point. In the meantime, let's see what else we've got to get here. Card used and expired. Again, to help beef up our production values. Achievement attained. New steward. Took the stewardship over a couple days ago. As a matter of fact, let me get back in here and see what other cards I might possibly be able to use. I think I've got more instant cards here, which are... Yeah, I can get another stone quarry in, another woodcutter's hut. Vegetable farm. Of course, that's not going to help me any because I can't build a vegetable farm yet. Or a tailor's workshop, or a vineyard, or a salt pan. Of course, I'm not high enough rank either. Can do dairy and apple orchids. Be really nice if I was able to build a pig farm, but I can, of course, increase pig breeding, but I'd rather be building a bit more at this point. 4 stonecraft. 2 woodsmanship. So I think what I'm going to be doing, I got plenty of stonecraft. Let's play that one again. I'll build up a little bit more. So, of course, this is only a 12-hour card, so in essence what I'm going to be adding in the next 12 hours is 3,000 stone. Just a little bit over 3,000 stones. So by the time the card expires, I'll have 7,000 stone in our stockpile. Of course, right now our max is 8,400. So you know what, before we do this, let's do this. So we're going to rank up now that we don't have to worry about the siege camp attacking us. We should at least have 3 free days for that, and that should be more than enough for me to build up some defenses. Okay, now we come to it, where we have actually 2 grades of freemen, so good. I can actually rank up again without any worries. So we'll have 6 points. So my next rank up, I'm going to have to start working on military now. Anyway, well, this rank up, obviously what we're going to be doing is fletching. Bidu. That way we can actually start building up our military. Since we do have access to bowmen now. And of course, In 20 minutes, we'll be upgrading plow, which will also help upgrade our food production as well. And then we'll do plow, which will give us access to wheat production, and then our last point will be used to actually research the bakeries, and we will be able to plant a bakery. So we've got 2 buildings coming in. Of course, there will be the Fletcher's Guild, or the Fletcher will be in, and then we will have our bakery thrown in here somewhere today, which will help with our food production too, because then we'll have 1 more food type to spread out consumption, which is good. Oh, I don't want triple. Don't want triple. I didn't want double either. I want single. Thank you. I can even go down to half because I still got enough popularity points at this point, so I don't have to worry about popularity or honor really at this point. So I still do have King MacArthur as my liege lord, which is nice. We're getting a little bit to 200 per day, not too bad. He's an alderman right now, so he is up here. Probably one of the closer ones in Nago. Where's Nago at? That's MS Mildew. Where is Nago at? There he is. He's a Thane, so I don't think that's quite as high. Yeah, so it looks like King MacArthur might be the first one to create the new faction, which we will pop into. So we need 5 of us in the faction in order to be able to get into the house. So we will need 5 people to join us. So right now we've got 4. Actually, I think we have more than 4, because I do need to add somebody. Sir Griffin. Sir Griffin is a friend of Bolt Griffin, probably a relative. So we want to do this, manage diplomacy. Alright, let's do this. I gotta find Sir Griffin. Sir Griffin, he's here as well. Good. So diplomacy, we'll set him as ally. Where is Sir Griffin at? He's way up there. Okay. He's even further than Bolt is at this point. That's okay. We'll eventually be ranking up our merchants as well. So we've got that going. You know what? Before I forget, let's do some shout-outs as well. Thought I had some shout-outs here for Island Warfare fans. Ah, here's a shout out. Player. Very good. So thank you, Player, for being a fan, in case I didn't shout out to you before. Johnny1337, thank you as well. Sure, we give a shout out to you. Of course, there's Bolts. I guess that was it. I think some of my shout-outs are actually people who commented on YouTube. So I think I will pull up YouTube real quick and do that. That way I get shout-outs to everybody. I can't. So let's go through some of these first of all, of course. So the enemy arrived in Lapu-Lapu 4 days ago, so it was a quick one anyway, at least. They probed us. Yes, that initial probe from the siege camp. Card played, of course, Stronghold to actually help build myself up as bits. So get that. Achievement attained. Accepted, yes. Excellent. Thank you, Army of Metalcore. So what did we do? Officer Iron, of course, for becoming steward. King's kin for joining a house that has control of something or other. And Vanquisher for defeating some bad guys attacking my castle. So as a matter of fact, let's see. So we've got Horsemaster getting there on Forger. So controls a county. So at some point, oh yes, House 3 controls a county. So no provinces yet. So that helps a bit. And of course I'm a steward. And the usual stuff there. So let me throw some music back on here now as well. There we go. So of course one of the reasons for taking over this parish, lots and lots of flag and gold raiding. So it's very difficult to build up a parish when you come under constant attack. Hence why it's a very good idea to get into a faction and a house as soon as you can. Especially if you do plan on becoming a steward. Oh good, so we should be able to make a couple of runs, that'll help. So let's take a look at these. Flag raiding there. So obviously we've already been hit several times since before I got here. And of course that's okay. So 3 gold, so not very much gold. So again, peasants heading in. We actually defended ourselves there, we did. Very nice. Of course, not so much there. Obviously just standard fare. So just to see if there's any more defenses, 21 gold rated there, 10 gold rated there. So naturally that will probably be our only defense because that player there did not realize we were already open on the one side. Flag raid there. Another flag raid there. Flag raid. Gold raid. So we were a little bit more built up here, and I actually tried to warn them off, tell them, obviously, I mean, understandable, still neutral at this point, but I just wanted to warn them that I had already built up defenses, and it might not be worth his effort since we had no flag and very little gold to begin with. He actually lost more in terms of cost of troops than he got from gold, so I was actually trying to warn Pederatus off here to actually save himself the cost in troops, really. Unfortunately, it was too late before he got the message. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks in 4 days from this frickin' siege camp. Jesus. We back yet? We're almost back. Okay. Another minute, so good. We can watch a couple of these attacks here. None of which I think I've actually defended. Of course, we were building the tower there, so that's why we're open there. So again, just small cost and honor. Again, a little bit larger because of the larger force, but something, you know, essentially we had to deal with here as a new village. You know, even in peacetime, of course, the siege camps attack you, so one of the faults, I think, of the game. If you're under peacetime, you shouldn't be able to be attacked, so it is what it is. At least it's not a big hit in honor, so it's easily made up with a liege lord. Now we have our other tower building. Ever strengthening our resolve. Excellent. And the final attack. Just now we have, actually I think that was open, wasn't it? So I think this was before we started building the tower. Which is fine, less damage to have to deal with, because we certainly weren't going to defend anyway. Okay, so we are clear there. Oh shoot, I could have... See, I need, oh, what's this? Living off the land, food forged. Ooh, I could use that. Yeah, there's the bandit camp, I could use that too. Should be able to do that one sooner rather than later. Shoot, so that's not going to help me anyway. How about this guy here? Oh, that's gone too, so never mind. We'll just go back to gathering up resources to donate. Okay, so anyway. Hopefully now that we've got the tower building. Oh yeah, okay, so I might have had that tower building for the obviously I did. This is a 24-hour build. Will be done in less than 7 hours, so good. So hopefully if we get 3 days between siege camps, 1, 2, 3, that'll give me enough defenses to see, your next tower will probably be here. Obviously one there, and of course the corner there, so hopefully it'll give us enough defenses to be able to build up and defend ourselves. Of course we'll have archers by then. So that's that. So a few more minutes we'll be able to start ranking up farming, and then like I said, we'll rank up again right away to Freeman first grade. That way I can at least throw a couple of research points into banqueting here and start our banqueting production. So we'll go 1 and 2, the first 2 here to unlock hunting. Of course I need 4 in order to do carpentry, huh? So what should the last point be? Last point probably should be something over here like castellation or diplomacy. At this point, don't really need to do horsemanship at this point. Really need to get defenses built up first. I think I will probably do castellation, because then we will... Oh, can't do diplomacy anyway. So yeah, obviously that last point will be for castellation then. So we can slowly work on ranking up and building up our defenses and diplomacy. So good. So we will have quite a bit to do. Alright, anyway, I think that's pretty much it for now, right? Yeah, we're pretty cleared out. So let me take a quick pause here so I can do some shout-outs, and then we'll call this an episode. Alright, so here we go. Thank you, Sahaja. This is actually on global conflict, but hey. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Azair. Thank you very much. Mr. Flipper as well, thank you very much. And there we have it. I know there's a couple more I want to shout out to, but I can't seem to locate them. Maybe they're on a couple other worlds. Anyway, we'll see. If you want to shout out, or again, as I mentioned earlier, if you would like to join our alliance, please be sure to drop me a line in-game. It'll be easier for me to track and then just making a comment on YouTube. So send me mail in-game, and we will add you to our faction alliance thread. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. This is BJ Water saying until next time, I will see you in-game.